Rachel in charge.
It's a new day, Sarah.
Sick bastard!
Where's Helena?
I'm getting into a dress, and then I am gonna get down to the truth.
What is wrong with my baby?
Just let me leave with my sister.
Get them out of my house!
Rage, Sarah, rage.
Let's go kidnap my daughter.
We will kill them.
Don't move.
I came to get you.
Mom!
Orphan Black. The final trip begins Saturday, June 10th at 10 on BBC America.
Well, the fifth and final season, sadly, of Orphan Black is upon us. And I know I get a little teary at the prospect of the show ending because I'm a day one fan, so I'm so excited for you guys to be here. How are you all doing? I'd love to hear from each of you.
Awful.
In mourning, yeah.
Nice shirt. Oh my God.
Actually, it's been...
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
I think we've all been downers a little in interviews lately because we're
This
just
morning
like,
was
we're
pretty-
so sad. Yeah.
God, as she started, one of the interviewers was starting to ask us about, you know, the last day of shooting. And then it was just funny because we came in kind of excited and then slowly, like, the pitch in our voices started dropping. And we were like, yeah, it was, you know, we kind of just sat and suddenly got very wistful and there were bloated pauses. We're okay.
We're grieving is what
Yeah.
we're doing. We're all in proper grieving mode because it was an incredible experience for all of us and we're proud of it and we care about it and we're going to miss it.
But we're really happy that we're all together right now
Yeah.
because we've kind of walked away from it for like a month or two now, and so just being together is so nice.
At the same time, though, I'm really excited to share it with everybody. I mean, it's the one thing about doing a 10-episode season is it's a really long time between each season.
Yeah.
So, and we know that the fans are really, really excited about seeing what's happened, and we feel like we put together a really fantastic swan song for you guys, and we're really excited to share it with you guys. So we have that anticipation. We hope you guys love it.
I'm also really proud of Graham and John that they stuck to their guns and finished. Like they always said, they had 5 years in it, and that's what they had and what they knew. But, you know, it's been successful, and especially with Tatiana's Emmy, and like they could have.
Can we hear for that?
But they kind of, it seems
Thanks
kind
for
of
saying that, Maria.
I know. Give me that money. It seems kind of honourable to me that they stuck to their guns and they didn't just go for another bit or some more money and just kind of beat it to death and dilute how we feel and how proud we are. But I think it's right that it ends. It's sad, but it's right.
Well, it's so nice to see you all together. This must be a little bit of a reunion. I heard you were all up late last night, despite multiple requests to get to bed early.
God,
Don't know what you're talking
who
about.
told you?
Who requested
No.
Except we weren't doing any, like, we were just eating.
Yeah, seriously, we
There
were.
was
like
no
multiple ice
bacchanal
creams.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheesecake and ice cream.
Sounds fun. You know,
We're nuts.
We're
We're
crazy
wild.
cast over here, guys. You must feel a real sense of accomplishment. You know, this show was sort of the little clone show that could, and it turned into this critically acclaimed, Emmy-winning phenomenon. Was there ever a point in the early days where you were thinking, they're not going to get it, this isn't going to break through, but they're not going to pick up what we're putting down? Or did you always have faith that the show would find its audience and sort of become what it has?
I always felt like it was an amazing story, and I thought from the pilot I was so excited and intrigued by the prospect of what could be, and I never thought of it actually, and we've all talked about this, never thought of it actually being seen by anybody. You know, you do a lot of, yeah, exactly. And then so when we got a response from, specifically from Clone Club, like from this community that kind of rallied behind the show and became friends internationally and have met up and did cosplay and all of that stuff. I mean, you don't expect that. I don't think ever as an actor going into something, you're just sort of happy to have a job that you love, you know, and then to have that kind of reaction, I never predicted that.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's so many forces at play as well. Like, I mean, just having a good show and having good performances and having a great cast is not a determining factor in whether or not the show has a life beyond the first season. So there's so many things that are beyond our control. But the fact that once again that Clone Club did glom onto it as much as they did, and the fact that our producers believed in the show enough to greenlight us for a second, third, fourth, fifth season is something that went well beyond, I think, anybody's wildest dreams.
Do you guys also ever feel like the fact that we were shooting it in the winter in Canada made it feel like it was, I don't know, there was something
a bit of a dream?
desolate. Yeah, like we were. It was just
like
in a vacuum, and we were.
Yeah.
It was just never gonna come out.
Well, that
It
whole
was just like
first
some
season,
mad endurance test that we
Yeah.
were all just put through. Being
we just kept calling it our weird little show in the first season, and it's always been our weird little show, but like just with more people watching it. But we knew there was something special there. Like, we were working on it. We just didn't know how it was going to be received. But we're like, there's something here. This feels different than most sets.
And also just wondering the logistics, how in the world, directorially, technically, the logistics of the clone scenes were going to work. Yeah. I'd never even heard of a techno dolly. I have nightmares about them now. Once it just stopped working. I was like,
Once?
12 times it stopped working.
I mean, I'm still so amazed. I introduced the show to a friend who hadn't seen it before, and I was like, no, she plays every single part. Like, I had to keep on reminding him because it still, blows my mind. Is there a sense of relief that you feel at all with, like, no more hours in the makeup chair, no sort of accents to learn? Like, what are you doing with all your free time now?
I'm sleeping. I'm literally catching up on just years of lack of sleep. But also I, was so grateful for this job and will miss it all the time. I'll miss my co-stars, like the people who are my family and who this wouldn't be the show it is without them. The whole challenge of it, it's just never going to happen again. It's like a very special once in a lifetime thing. And as an actor, you don't get stuff like this ever, so I'm sad. Missing it for sure.
I feel like it goes beyond, like, there's something really interesting about sharing yourself with as a character with a group of people, because we have these offset relationships, and then we have these very tense, very deep relationships that exist on screen, and you carry all of that with you. Like, over the course of 5 years, it does become like family. It does. It's not just. It's beyond. It's a different kind of friendship. It's just a different relationship entirely. It's very very intimate.
No, I mean, that's very clear just sitting here with all of you. There's a real shared love, and that's so nice to see, because I think you watching at home, you want that. It's happening here, in motion. When we last left you all, season 4 really left us in a different spot as opposed to previous seasons where the family's together, the clones are dancing, or we're at a dinner party. Now they're in different locations, sort of fractured. How does this set the tone for the final season?
Well, I think we get to see the clones and all of the characters sort of in deeper ways, whether that's an episode that kind of focuses on one of the worlds, like one of the clones' backstories or those kinds of things. There is kind of an individual sort of nature to some of the storytelling. But I think ultimately the story is about community and family and about the sisterhood and the brother sisterhood and all of that, So I think it kind of goes from this singular place to a more communal kind of family thing.
Please tell me we're getting a Crystal only, like, flashback heavy, involved episode. That's all I want.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah, you got it.
We got to get back
like
to work.
Baby Crystal. She came out like full nails.
And we left you on this island, giving me major Lost vibes and loving it. And I think it's sort of the perfect place to start this season, because it's very primitive in a sense and really strips away everything else, just leave these characters, laid bare. But it's also the heart of this neo-Lucianist agenda. What is it like filming in this location? Are we going to be here for a while? Are we going back to Canada? What's happening?
Did anybody else really film on the island? Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, not me.
No?
I'm not allowed to say. I signed a
Yeah, right.
non-disclosure agreement.
The island was wild. The island was in a little valley out in like, what? Yeah. I can't say much about the island, I don't think.
It was awful cold.
It was so cold.
I went to visit one night. I was just like, oh, I'm so glad I'm
It was
not
it was a
working
terrible
tonight.
set that was cold and muddy, and like our transport trucks would get stuck going up and down the hills and stuff, and it was yeah.
Sounds like a blast.
It's not even the question you
Fun.
asked,
Yeah.
but that's our memory of it. Is like it was a terrible place to shoot.
Yeah.
And we now are sort of seeing the entrance of this figure, P.T. Westmoreland, who is sort of the father of neo-Lucianism. Neo-Lucianism, is that the word? Am I saying it rightly? Okay. How does his entrance into the mythos sort of change this season? How is he going to factor in without, I know, of course, giving too much away? Because we've sort of been building to this big reveal, sort of the father of all of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the season was always set out to be kind of about patriarchy and the systems in which we are all oppressed by this, antiquated system that holds us all kind of captive and seeks to own us all, whether we're women or men. And then it topically just, ended up happening in life in major ways in politics. And so we I feel like we were really eager to reflect back what was happening and talk about it and get to work through it through the storytelling. So hopefully that translates. But I think PT is the sort of icon of that patriarchy.
So I know the show was shooting before the election, correct? Yeah. Did this have any effect, sort of? The show. Yep.
My microphone is at I'm ready.
Go, man, go.
I was like, yes.
Well, two things strike me. Of course, the show has always represented ideals that stand in direct defiance of things like this. But it's also sort of really embraced the scientific community, and right now, something like that is so under attack. Yeah. So I'm curious, in what ways do you see the show engaging with this political moment?
It's needed now more than ever, and I don't think we ever really expected that the world would shift that way from where we were 5 years ago when we started the show. I mean, things needed to be said back then, but even just it feels way more urgent now.
I feel like that's just always how it goes historically. I feel like we do that. We make this progress. It happened in the 1960s and the 1970s. There was this liberation, this revolution that was happening, and then everybody got scared and they walked it back. And I think that we're approaching a sea change in society, and it's the reason why shows like Orphan Black are even given a platform in the first place. And the response is just fear. And so I feel like even though we're seeing the bombshell of opposition to all of these ideas about science and about gender and sexuality and women's rights, and we're sort of seeing the effect of the opposition, and it feels very loud. To me, it just kind of feels like it's the dying breath of the fight. It's just the fearful response to it. And when the opposition is the loudest, when there's the most fanfare, and we feel like, the fight is the most tense, I think it's actually just because we're winning. And I think, I don't know, thematically, I just think that's kind of interesting because it's exactly what's going on with the sisters in this entire season of the show. It's really hard. The last season it's very tense, and they're fighting harder than they've ever fought before. And
I think that one of the things about the show has been the idea of family, of an other kind of family, of a chosen family, of a way to find that. And that's one of the things we've seen as well. Like the Women's March was an extraordinary symbol of community and chosen family and chosen idea, and we will not be oppressed. And so although the bigger picture seems bleak and kind of right changes to the right seem to be happening in the world. It's also pointing out to all the people who are not in that position, we need to make our voices heard, and we need to come together, and we can choose which way we want to go. So I think that's an incredible thing to see, as well as the bad stuff. To see the coming together, good stuff is really powerful.
Absolutely.
You know, Tatiana, in your Emmy acceptance speech, you praised the show for really putting women at the center. And I imagine all of you are very proud to be on a show that does that. So hoping that maybe you could speak to that or how it directly relates to the storytelling in the final season.
Yeah, it's always been about womanhood and about just being a human being, a complex human being who is defined by more than your genetics or your aesthetic or your gender or anything. So we continue to tell that story, and I think we do that through all the characters. And like you're saying, it's all about family and it's all about community and how individuals together are stronger together. You know, I don't know. God, it's there's so much to talk about in that. Yeah.
And also just in a very simple way, I mean, there aren't that many shows that have so many really well-written, complex characters who are over 25 or well over 25. Do you know, there's all the fantastic actors we've had in, Kyra Harper, Rosemary Dunsmore, Nora McClellan, like they love women and they don't need them to conform to a certain age or shape or look. And it's a simple thing, but it's really encouraging. Like, you can't be what you can't see. It's just great to have that representation as a person who's a little bit over 25.
You know, and I think another legacy that the show is leaving behind is really embracing the LGBTQ community. And I've been so heartened to see these representations on screen, where often characters or actors are so pigeonholed or sort of sidelined. Yeah, what has it been like to be in a show that like actively engages with that fan base on and off screen? To really any of you?
I think it's great. I mean, I'm going to take it a little off track a little bit. I mean, you know, I come from a community where when you go to a Thanksgiving dinner, Tyler Perry movies are on perpetually, right? And it sounds a little funny, but it's about seeing images on screen that you understand and you relate to, and what that means to you as a community. The fact that you see people, even though it's a comedy or whatever, you see people struggling, fighting, loving, and succeeding and triumphing over whatever the adversity is. And that gives you a sense of pride, and it lets you walk a little taller. And I know that for myself. I mean, we're talking about back when Cool Runnings was on, like way back in the day. So for a show like ours to do that for the LGBTQ community, I understand what that is. You go through life and you have your struggles and you have your day-to-day strifes, but when you see someone on screen going through something similar or even not similar to yours, but fighting and persevering and loving and losing and still coming out as a winner or as a loser or whatever, but still continuing to keep their head high and march forward, it means the world to somebody. And the fact that we're able to do that 10 episodes a season means everything to me, and I think it means everything to the cast, and that's why we continue to try to do the best work that we can, because we have a responsibility as a society to do that.
I love that. Thank you.
One of the best things that ever happened to us was when we were in Comic-Con. And do you remember the girl came up like 2 years ago? And she came up and she said she was really grateful to the show because it had shown her a way to come out to her mom, that because she was able to show it through the character Cosima, who happens to be gay, but she's also this incredible scientist and has loves and it wasn't just, she was finding it difficult to come out because it was all about the fact that she was gay. And then she was able to say to her mom, oh, that's just one part of my personality, look at this. It was just, it was really amazing, wasn't it, to hear that, or in a direct way. I like the fact that, yeah, people happen to be gay in our show, but it's like one bit of all the other complex things that they are and inherit and, you know, everything.
I think we basically get to show that it's the universality that's most interesting.
Yeah.
That it's the fact that ultimately, whether you're gay, bi, trans, black, white, whatever, that the human experience is the human experience is the human experience. Yeah. And these facets of us we can't be reduced by them. They inform how we see the world, yes, or parts of the world, but there's so many more aspects to who we are. And just what our lives consist of. And I think that's what's really cool about these characters, like you were saying. It's just, there's so much more there.
God, I'm going to miss this show, I'm telling you. Before we wrap up with some audience questions, I'd love to hear from each of you sort of a proud moment that you look back over the 5 seasons that really stands out for you. I know there's so many to choose from. Donnie dancing in the underwear.
My
That was all of ours, yeah.
I'm sorry to steal yours. But maybe we can start with you, Kevin.
Go, Kevin. Don't screw this
like
up.
it's really stupid, but it was getting through the first day. Like I was there day 1, scene 1, shot 1, and shaking like a leaf and scared and knowing that it was a great script, but who knows what's gonna happen. But getting through that day and then gradually over 5 years, sort of settling into the character and realizing that. Although I didn't know where he was going at the beginning, I understood that there was a function for this guy, and he played an important role, and that was great. As far as individual moments, honest to God, there's just so many. There are tears and joy and laughter and hijinks and pranks and all kinds of stuff. To choose one is almost impossible. But as soon as someone else starts, I'll remember and I'll jump in. I guarantee you that.
I think for me, it's just those everyday little interactions you have when you bump into someone who's a huge fan of the show and you see their eyes light up and they tell you what about the show that they love and how it's made a difference to them. That warms the cockles of my heart like nothing else. Like nothing else. It makes me so happy. And it just happens in the most random places. You never know when it's gonna happen, one of these interactions.
Like an oxygen bar.
Like at an oxygen bar in Los Angeles.
I feel like there's a story here.
Tell them the story.
I was at an oxygen bar, and I had like one of those oxygen tubes.
He lives in LA now.
I've moved to LA, so you got to do what people do in LA. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, and this guy comes over, and he's like, "I know who you are," and he like snapped a photo. I was like, I'm like pointing at the oxygen tube in my nose. I'm like, "Hi," and he's like, "I'm from Germany, and I love the show." And I started speaking to him in German, and he's like, "Oh, you speak German?" And like we had this whole crazy, weird, bizarre interaction, but. You have like 1,000 of these throughout the year, and they're just so touching and so bizarre and so much fun, and it makes.
But I love the fact that Kristian was like, "But I have an oxygen tube. I don't
and he's
care."
Like, yeah, he's like, "I don't care. I don't care." I'm like, "Oh, okay, great. Let's just do this. Great."
So
but
funny.
it's amazing. It's such a privilege to have that.
I mean, I don't want to cut off Ari, but I mean, I think as an actor, the one thing that you really want to do is affect people. Like, you don't want people to just say, "Oh, you're amazing at what you do." You actually want to affect people. You want to change their lives, or at least make them think about something different. I always say that when I do theater, I don't care whether you like me or hate me as a performer. I want you talking about the issues and talking about what happened on stage, and hate it, but discuss it. And the fact that I think we've been able to do that over the past 5 years is mission accomplished and fantastic. It's incredible.
There's something that happened this season that I'm particularly proud of.
Ari needs his turn.
Come on, Jordan, let him speak.
I'm sorry, I started.
Sorry,
the
what do you
train.
want to say? No, I'm kidding.
I started the train.
Which is kind of along the same lines is that the odds of, as an actor, working as an actor, paying your bills, raising a family as an actor, is like the Powerball. Like, it's just, the odds are ridiculous. And then the odds on top of that of being in a show for 5 years that you're proud of, that you're excited to do every single day, that you like the people, that you get to interact, that has a positive effect on everyone is the odds of that are just like astronomical. So it's just like, I've said it before, but like probably peaked right here, and it's kind of like the first thing I've ever done.
All downhill.
Career's over. Career's over.
But that's a good thing. Like, it's because, it's like you could look at it that way, or you could look at it, but I got to do something.
When are we ever going to have this again? And this is like my biggest fear going into like the future is I love these guys so much. And
It happens again when we convince them to make the movie.
yes, let's do it.
Make the movie.
What about you, Maria?
Well, one of the things, it has impacted on me so hugely because I was traveling over and back from Dublin for the first 2 seasons, and I would go for sort of 10 days at a time and smush my scenes at the end of one show, at the end of one episode and the beginning of the next. And I got tired of that, and I missed the being there for the table reads at the beginning of each episode, which are very bonding kind of things and kind of important. So I asked my family if they would move over. So for the last 3 seasons, we all lived there for half the year, and my 2 younger children went to school and everything. So the whole experience has bled into this entire experience of Canada and ideas of social democracy and loads of things, as well as just the words that Mrs. S was saying. So we've kind of embedded in that as well. And I'm just, I'm crap at ice skating. I tried, but no. And haven't really made my peace with poutine yet either, which is kind of
get you
chips
there.
and
We'll
gravy.
get you there.
Come on.
I haven't either.
But but lots of other. It's been really. I'm still feeling all of those things and trying to digest them and learn from it. But yeah, it's so big for my whole family.
Do I get to talk now?
Yes, it's your turn.
There was something that happened this year, but obviously we can't talk about it, but I thought what was really great is that even in after 5 years of writing the same show, of playing in the sandbox with these characters, that there was still episodes or stories or things that could be said within this world that would surprise me and that would excite me, and that they never stopped trying. We never stopped trying. We were still excited about it until the very end, and I think that's just something really special. And that kind of passion, that sort of sustained passion, is something that I really want to take with me wherever I go, on whatever I do next, to come at whatever the project is with the same sort of passionate fervor that everybody had right up until the end. And there's a lot of really special stuff that happened this season. It's not just ending the series. It's not just closing out the series. This is, it's like we've done with every other season. There's always a statement to be made. There's always something to be said.
Mine maybe isn't like a proud moment, but just like an important thing, which was Catherine Alexandri coming into the show, who is my clone double and is like completely integral to everything and so part of our family and so part of the creation of these characters in this world, and improvises with me and plays with me during every take, gives me a full performance when she's not on camera. And watching her work has been one of the biggest learning experiences of my life, because as an actor, you do get used to being seen and being watched and having, your face up there and doing it for all kinds of reasons. But to watch somebody who does it, like you were saying yesterday, just for the pure love of it, is a huge thing, to witness, and an incredible honor to get to work with. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for all of your work these past 5 seasons. It's made such an impact on me, and I know it has on this audience, so we have a couple fan questions.
Yay.
Oh, right here.
Hey. Hi, guys.
Hello.
I just wanted to personally say thank you for the positive representation you guys have done for the LGBT community, because it's so hard to find positive shows out there that have us on screen. But my question is, what's some fun or fond memories you guys have from backstage?
I feel like there's a lot.
There is a lot, yeah.
There's a lot of farting backstage.
There's a lot of farting.
I don't know whether it's craft services or whatever, but there's a lot of farting.
It's family
backstage.
too. You just get very
it
comfortable
really
with each other.
We get too comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a bit disgusting.
It's that's the thing.
You want to hear the farts?
Yeah.
Wait.
Fart reel this year. What else? I forget these things. I never remember what they are when we're.
Because they're so funny. They're in the moment, and then you kind of like, that happened.
Yeah.
I've told this one before about
Which
us
one?
stealing our director's Bluetooth speaker. It was like a Friday night at 1 a.m, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
were still going. It was season
burying
2 or 3. We were
Leaky's
burying
body.
Leaky's body in the garage, and we were just going nuts. We had been in this garage for days, covered in dirt, like under our fingernails, just so tired, and we still had more to shoot that night. And it was a Fratterday, we call it, where it's like Friday into Saturday. Like you get home at 5 a.m. and your mind is racing. But we stole our director, TJ Scott's Bluetooth speaker because we didn't like the music he was playing to keep us energized. And we hijacked it and we're like throwing on James Brown and Jamiroquai and just like having a dance party because we're so wired on caffeine. We're like, we gotta bury this body and here we go, let's just dance it out. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
Do you remember the end of the first season? You were broke. I mean, but you were broke. Yeah. You were broke.
Had no money.
You were in the no money. She was broken. We were all broken because we'd been working. I think at that point it was like a 19-hour, 18-hour. Like it was insanity. It was just crazy. And it was the last day. And you found a video of a frog.
Oh, the frog.
The frog.
There were like two things that got me through season one. One was the IKEA monkey, if anybody knows about that. I was just always looking at photos of him. And then this little desert sand frog. Look it up.
That
it
made
squeaks.
The strangest noise. And she sat in the corner of the Beth set for a good hour watching this video on repeat and showing people like parading her phone around showing people video of this frog.
I was not well.
No.
That is definitely broken.
We were concerned.
We've all got some Googling to do.
I remember we had some great, because we were the blow-ins, my family, we had a lot of kitchen parties in our house, and they were just the best fun as well. Off duty singing and drinking and having fun and eating Thai food. And something happened at one of them that you're going to see in season 5, which is one of my proudest backstage moments, that we facilitated that.
Which we wouldn't have if you didn't move your whole family to Toronto.
Yay!
Yeah.
So Kristian did something at one of the parties very late at night. Drink may have been taken, and one of our creators, Graham, was there to witness it and went, "That's going in the show." So
it was him. P.S.
You'll see it.
You'll see it. Yeah.
We also got sort of addicted to face swap for a while there, didn't we?
Oh, yeah,
we did a whole bunch of
terrifying.
face. We should post some. I don't think we posted any of them.
I've got so many of them.
We've got a bunch of.
I have videos.
Season 4 was the year of the dub smash.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
There were so many dub smashes.
Yeah. So there were some good times backstage.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also remember you. Do you remember you were so little time at one stage. You're like, I just need something. I need to do something. And you shopped on eBay. You're like, I can't go to a shop, but I could buy some stuff on eBay. And like 3 days later, I was like, how did you get on? No, just a box of crap arrived to that.
I bought like a plastic sweater or something. I was like, it was like made of tinfoil and plastic. I was like, I need that.
Yeah, but it was not a comforting purchase. Not at all, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We believe we have another question. Over here?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So I wanted to know which clone you guys are going to miss the most.
Good question. Which
Will you
clone?
miss? I think Helena, because I'll just never get to play a character like that. No one. That's just such a unique character, and we developed her all kinds of different ways throughout the season. So, yeah, I'll miss her the most, I think.
Sarah. I've said so many times. I've said she was the touchstone for. I didn't know who my character was, like in entirety, until I met her, and. It was the first character that I met because we met in the network test. Yeah. You were Sarah. You even had a whiskey glass with nothing in it.
But could you see the whiskey?
Absolutely.
That's why
you
I got
were
the part.
swirling it.
She
believes it. I believed
it.
it. See, guys, if she believes, I believe. You believe. Just go on to the next one.
I think probably Sarah for me too, because I just feel so connected to this mad little dysfunctional family that we're part of.
What do you mean?
I think for me it's unfair to choose one. So I think all of them, because I mean literally they were all so well developed and so I guess I'm being redundant, but flushed out. That it was just a different show, a different movie, a different genre every time a different plot line came up. So it was just very refreshing and exciting to see them.
They were like different people. I mean, it was different. We would
It's
remind
almost like they were
ourselves that it
different
was
people.
Tatiana all the time, but they were like different people.
But Helena was my initial favorite. So, to answer the question, Helena.
I gotta agree with Helena there because it's just so much fun to work with Helena. I know I should say Allison. I should, but I'm married, so it's like okay, boring. No, Helena's just so wild, and it's like making soap with her, like eating food with her. Bloody bags of money. There's a meme that went around at tax time. I don't know if I can't remember if I told
Yes, I saw that.
There's a meme of just like people probably don't know what show it's from, but it's of Helena with the bloody bag of money handing it to Donnie saying, "I got refund." And like it gives me so much joy that like every tax season this weird meme is going to go around with this like crazy blonde-haired woman with a bloody bag of money. "I got refund." And like a score of people will be like, "What the hell is this from?"
The show's greatest legacy. This
That one right there, yeah.
And you?
Yeah, it's for me. It's Katja Obinger. For sure, I'm gonna miss her the most.
Whoa!
You know, like I say, she was misunderstood. Her time was too short.
Great
And
haircut.
I carry a flame for her in the backseat. No, Katja. For me, I was just talking about it recently. You know, the relationship that Art had with Helena is ridiculous. From getting shot by her in season 1 to being, you know, hog-tied in his apartment, to having all his fridge entirely raided, to the, you know, to what happens in season 5, which you'll find out soon. It's been a great journey, and I'm gonna miss that a lot. But Sarah was my my ride or die partner. In that, Sarah as Beth, Sarah as Sarah. So, but it's between those two, it's between Helena and Sarah for sure, for me.
And I believe we have one last question.
I came from Scotland to be here, so I would...
Oh, thank you so much.
Amazing.
So I would love for you to say your favourite quote from the show in a Scottish accent.
Oh, jeez.
I was watching a video and you said Scott. It's not the accent that you can do.
Impossible.
Right?
How do you do a
Jordan
Helena
was a very
quote?
good
How do you do a
Scottish
Helena
accent.
quote with a Scottish accent? It's like Ukrainian Scottish.
Quotes, and then we'll try and say them. That'd be easy. I could say chicken. Hello, chicken.
Oh, God.
My Scottish sounds like a pirate.
Yeah, I know. You're just going to be really offended by how we do this. Shrek.
I can try, but I don't know.
You're going to do it perfectly.
Jordan.
Go.
I don't know. Regionally, I don't know.
Like, what town are we
It's
talking
gonna be the Highlands or the Lowlands, George.
So like, if I'll do like kind of I guess this would be like Edinburgh or something like that. So, what's a good line for me to say? Fetch me something gay.
No. What does your dad keep? The drinks trolley. The drinks trolley line.
Do more.
The drinks.
Does your daddy have a drinks trolley?
Do another one.
What's another like Allison one or something like that? That'd be really good.
Oh, Donnie.
Oh, Donnie.
What'd you say?
Donnie.
Hello,
Oh, Donnie. What's that?
Hello, Donnie.
Hello, Donnie.
You're so concerned.
Hello, Donnie.
Mine has a swear
Hello,
word
Donnie.
in it.
Hello, it would
I
be
don't
a
think we're allowed
prayer.
to swear. Can we swear?
Yeah, we can swear.
Okay.
Oh, swear.
Have a shitty day.
Yeah. How was it? Was it embarrassing and awful?
Yes.
Yes, we butchered your culture. Thank you for letting us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, could you remind the good people where they can catch the premiere of the 5th and final season of Orphan Black?
June 10th, 10/9C Central.
Or is it 9:10 Central?
9:10.
9:10.
It's at 9:10 p.m. AM. It's
10/9
on
Central.
BBC America.
10th of June.
10th of June.
This Saturday.
Yes, everyone watch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.